Hello, hello. I'm celebrity menswear stylist Ashley Weston, and this is Dorian.
Hello.
Who has been on the show a lot, on the channel a lot. Not the show, the channel a lot. Business partner, my fiance, soon to be husband, very soon.
Pretty soon. November. So today's topic is kind of a personal one, Ash. We get a lot of reader questions, and also when we get stopped on the street, get the same sort of questions as well. And Mark from New York actually had a great question that I thought, well, let's just answer it.
Okay.
He wants to know, Mark said, how did you and Dorian meet?
You know, I think it's a really special story for me because I feel like it's like in the movies how it is. So I'll just get right into it.
Yeah, go for it.
So it basically one day, years and years and years back, how much of a beginning should I give this?
I'm really good at being really short. You have the amazing detail work. So I'll lead up to this.
Okay.
I was an executive in entertainment. Ashley was currently a high school math teacher in Compton, California, inner city. She did not like teaching anymore and decided to figure out a new direction in life, basically, like a hard reset. She was friends with an employee of one of the companies that my company owned. I worked for a large company. We owned a bunch of other smaller companies. I was in charge of operations. And so you were moonlighting and kind of shadowing a bunch of different people.
Okay.
And you were moonlighting this friend of yours who worked at one of my companies.
And that's the setup.
Yes.
That'll be the setup for this story now.
Take it away.
So basically, the friend that worked for one of Dorian's companies we went out to lunch. And so we were coming back from lunch. I was going to be shadowing him for the rest of the day. And I'm looking at the floor at this point, and I just see a pair of feet walk out, shoes walk out. These beautiful black leather lace-up dress shoes. I'm like panning up to this gorgeous, impeccably tailored charcoal gray suit, a quarter of an inch of his shirt cuffs exposed. He was wearing French cuffs. I remember it because of the way it looked. And then I panned up even further. He had his white pocket square in his jacket, a white dress shirt, like I said, black silk tie with the perfect knot. There was a little gray or silver tie bar that you had as well. And then looked up to his face, and you know, he just had these beautiful Tom Ford sunglasses, hair like this, perfectly combed. He had a briefcase, and he just walked straight out. And it really felt like the world had stopped. It was just like slow motion, just this body just coming towards us. Immediately turned to my friend. I was like, who is that? And he was like, that's my boss. I'm like, you have to introduce us. Please introduce us. And so, you know, all day I could not stop thinking about Dorian. I mean, I had been in, you know, I'm still in my graduate program. I've been basically in school my entire life. I'm used to just seeing men in sweatshirts and shitty jeans and it, you know, just
Something similar to what I'm wearing probably today.
No, but it just, you know, not dressed very well.
Yeah.
And so this was really one of the first times that I saw someone that was dressed so well, and that really caught my attention, and just how he was so confident. Your confidence was crazy, and it was very, very attractive.
It works.
And he didn't even say anything to me. He didn't even like look in my direction. And I just needed to know more about him. I actually was kind of done shadowing my friend, but I kept making a bunch of excuses to go visit him and to hang out.
I'll take over from here.
Yeah.
'Cause on my side of it, I obviously had no idea she existed, basically. Then I'm walking through the office one day. His company we brought into our corporate headquarters because they were having some trouble, so we were restructuring. So I'm just walking down the hallway, and I stopped to have a chat with some of the employees of the company, and then this girl comes up to me and is like, hello, my name is Ashley. What's your name? And I'm like, Dorian, nice to meet you. And she's like, it's great to meet you too. I just had to introduce myself. And then she like turned around and like stomped away, and I was just like, what the hell just happened?
I was really obvious, yeah.
I was like in the middle of a sentence, basically, like talking to someone else. And I was like, okay. And then you kind of went on about your business.
It had been like, I think a week or 2 weeks had gone by. I hadn't seen him on the floor that my friend worked on, and it
Probably
was
traveling or something.
Yeah, I just hadn't seen him yet. And so when I finally saw him, I was like, I gotta take this opportunity and just introduce myself. And I definitely I had no reason to talk to you whatsoever.
So at that point, you were kind of done shadowing. I didn't know. I mean, I wasn't HR, so I wasn't keeping track of every employee that was coming in and out, interns, assistants. I mean, they were coming and going a lot. So you were like done shadowing your friend?
So I had met someone else and another, my mentor actually, and so I was actually tagging along to photo shoots.
But then after you introduced yourself to me, you were around a lot for a couple weeks.
Yeah, I was. I mean, I had to figure out how to get to know you more and how to like insert myself into your life.
After that point, it was, I didn't realize you were like done. I had no idea. I didn't know who you were, to be honest. I started seeing her a lot more, and then I think it's funny because, you know, I would see you in the office sitting next to your friend, so I maybe assumed like an assistant intern situation. And then we were working on some big project. I was overlooking, needing to see some like press releases or something like that. And for some reason, you got put in charge of writing some of them. And then we were working on that project, and then you had to get send them to me.
Email.
Yeah, you had to get my email and stuff to send to me. So you sent them, and then you told me this later. I thought it was hilarious. I kind of eviscerated the press release that you did, and you were like, such a jerk.
I was pissed. Oh yeah, you did not like my writing, so I was really pissed for like 2 seconds. But then I got over it because he was just so cute. So I still needed that first date. I still wanted it.
And then she was still messaging me like, oh,
when GChat was around. So
yeah.
Since I got his Gmail, I was always constantly messaging him. You know, just little things like,
and
hey,
at this point, I'm still unclear on what she does. I mean, obviously she's working for the company, and that's very weird if she isn't. So I'm like, I don't know what her relationship is, what her relation is to the company, but I no pin in the company kind of scenario. No way, not at all. And then a couple weeks went by, I didn't see you for a little bit, and then you messaged me like, hey, I don't really work there anymore. What are you up to? And then Tell the story.
And then finally he messaged me and he was like, hey, so I have these tickets to this museum. They do like on the first Friday of every month in the summertime, they do like an after hours thing where they have a DJ, a bar set up, all of that. It's really fun. My friend was supposed to join, but he can't make it. So do you want to be my backup? I was like, tell me when and where. I will be your backup, no problem. And then...
Well, my end of the story is that wasn't really true. Once I learned that she wasn't working with the company, really never worked with the company, it's like, okay, open ball game kind of. So then I bought those tickets, and I'm like, I can't let her win, because I knew she was like, you know, really going after me, basically, really pushing for it. So I'm like, okay, how do I make sure that she gets what she wants without her feeling like that she just completely won me over? I got to play a little hard to get here.
Yeah, well, I mean, you did a good job. I didn't care. I was like, I will be your backup, a backup. It doesn't matter. You just need to give me one chance. And then there was something about Dorian, and the reason why I pursued him so aggressively and patiently was not just because of how he dressed and, you know, how he carried himself, but it was also, there was something about him that was very honest and that was very, I don't know, trusting. Like, it was, your personality was just, you were so positive, and there was, you were just so nice to everyone, and I noticed that, and it was very, very attractive to me, outside of obviously how you dressed and how it, you know, really masculine and confident you carried yourself.
Well, the clothing definitely helps, but
yeah.
As you always say, that's the packaging.
Yeah.
And then when you open
that's what caught my attention.
That's everything else, basically.
Exactly. So I just felt like we were going to really get along, and this was finally, the opportunity finally presented itself after weeks and weeks and weeks of me dropping heavy hints and pursuing him, which I have never done in my entire life. And I just knew he needed to give me a chance, and he did, and we had the best time at the museum. I was so beyond nervous. I felt like I was so quiet at that point because I was like, my hands were sweaty. I was so nervous. Like, it had built, like, all of this time had built up to finally like this moment, but it was beautiful. And
did I make a move on the first date? I don't think I did.
That's really annoying.
That's not my style.
He walked me to my car, and I was waiting for my kiss, and he gave me a hug.
At least I didn't shake your hand. That would have been like perfect.
That's weird. But
That
you
would have been
only gave me a
perfect.
hug. And I was, honestly, I was waiting for the kiss. I was so nervous, but I was like really excited. And he did not give me the kiss
No.
at all.
No.
Which was a bummer. But it's all right.
This
I
lady,
mean-
this girl does not put out. No. You gotta earn it.
You know, I played the long game. 8+ years later, I've got a ring on my finger, and you're about to be my husband.
There
So
you go.
it worked out in the end.
All right. So hopefully you guys enjoyed that. That's the story of how Ashley and I met.
Just
Don't
wanted to
get in her
share.
way. She's like a dog on the bone. Do not get in her way. She'll outwork you. I promise.
Yeah, if something's in my sights and I really want it, I'm very determined.
She's a worker.
And yeah.
You're a hustler
And
for sure.
that's the story in Dorian and I. So hopefully you guys enjoyed that little bit of inside info about us.
Yeah.
And, we just wanted to share a little bit more about our private lives.
All right. Thanks guys for watching. We'll see you in the next one.
Bye.